Well, it's been a while, over a month, but it's back for the return of Hot Sauce Takes. I know I haven't been doing this series as consistently as before, but I want to get back to this and just get back to this whole series. I've been a bit more busier recently, but I'm going to get back in the grind. So if you don't know what this series is, where I take you, the viewer, your hottest takes, and give you my reaction in a video. We do this about every week on mainly make a community post on the weekends for you to potentially be in the video. So that being said, let's get right into it. Now, the first take we're going to be looking at comes to us from PvP Gods, and he says, when fully healthy, the Atlanta Hawks can make a run for a championship. The Hawks have performed as one of the best rebuilds in modern NBA history. They drafted their franchise player in Trae Young in 2018, and drafted players like John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, and Kevin Huerter in a span of 3 years, while also making moves for Bogdan Bogdanovic, Clint Capella, and Gallinari. This year, they made an impressive Cinderella run to the conference finals, and so many players on their team can improve. This year, people like Trae Young, DeAndre Hunter, Cam Reddish, Kevin Huerter can even take an even bigger step, with Trae maybe breaking out as a superstar, Hunter being as one of the most valuable 3-and-D players in the NBA, and Reddish as the wild card that may break out to maybe the second leading scorer, third leading scorer on this team. However, to make it to the finals, they still have to face the Nets, Bucks, and Heat, and even to make the conference finals. I think it is possible, as this team has a good blend of vets and good players that will get better, but it's going to be very unlikely, but I do think it is possible. The next take we're going to be looking at comes to us from Arav, and he says the Portland Trailblazers will miss the playoffs this year. Led by Damian Lillard, the Blazers have been a perennial playoff team, making 8 straight playoff experiences, but they've never been good enough to win a championship. They lost in the first round in back-to-back years, and they still have a similar roster to those teams that lost in the first round. When you have Damian Lillard, I'm pretty confident you're going to make the playoffs, with players like CJ McCollum, Yusuf Nurkic, and Norman Powell can still contribute to winning. Unless Damian Lillard is traded to a different team or he requests a trade, I think that the Blazers will make the playoffs, but I'm just unsure if they can make any noise. They of course got Chauncey Billups this offseason, and unless they trade like CJ McCollum for Ben Simmons, I think this might be another first round exit for this team, which is sad to see with Dame being so loyal, but this Blazers team not providing him with just the help that he needs to compete with the Lakers, even a team like the Warriors, the Nets, and it's going to be hopefully a good season for the Blazers. I think they have to shake up this team dramatically, but I do think they will make the playoffs. The next take we're going to be looking at comes to us from Bam, and he says, the Miami Heat will be a top 2 seed in the East and take over the NBA. The Miami Heat were one of the biggest winners this offseason, and they've been anticipating this offseason for pretty much the last couple years. Even though they didn't sign a Giannis or a Kawhi, they still signed Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker, and Markieff Morris to pair up with Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, Duncan Robinson. I see this team as a top dog in the East, as they have one of the best defensive lineups in the whole NBA, and they still have 3 players in Lowry, Jimmy, and Bam capable of putting up 30 points every night. Throw in an X factor like Victor Oladipo or Tyler Hero, I think this team can really dominate. Now, they would have to beat the Bucks and the Nets, who I think on paper are better than them, but they have a lot of talent to win the East, with the lineup of Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy Butler, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo, and that team is really good. And if Victor Oladipo can stay healthy, you replace PJ Tucker with Vic, and that team is so good. Pretty much everyone on that team can clamp up every night, and this team is just going to be so deadly. I'm personally super high on this Heat team, and maybe they won't beat the Bucks, but I think that they will end up as a top 4-3 seed and really make some noise in the playoffs if they face the Bucks or the Nets, they can push them to 6 or 7 games. Now, I still think that hopefully Kyle Lowry won't regress. Hopefully Jimmy won't get locked up in the playoffs. Hopefully Bam Adebayo can expand his offensive game. But this team has so much talent on paper, and I think this chemistry will work too. Hopefully it works out, but I'm really high on this Heat team. And the last take we're going to be looking at comes to us from OG Ananobi. And he says, Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards will be the next superstars in the NBA. Ja Morant and Anthony Edwards were both top picks in the respective draft, with Ja winning Rookie of the Year and Ant being the runner-up. Last year, or 2 years ago, Ja was a borderline all-star, but took his game to another level in the postseason, dominating the Warriors and the Jazz. Edwards just had an impressive rookie year, showing flashes to why he can be the potentially a 25 point per game scorer. Both of these guys will no doubt make all-star teams and maybe even all-NBA teams. Now, there is definitely a big chance for both of them to be a superstar, but the talent of the NBA is just superstars are only for the top players in the NBA, where you are at for sure an all-star starter, at least all-NBA player, preferably good on both ends, one of the best players on one of the best teams, puts up amazing stats, and I think Ja Morant and Ant-Man have the talent, but it's going to be very tough for them. I think that Ja, with his explosiveness, with him just showing against the Jazz that he can put up 40 points on a playoff game, he can average 30 points in a series. I'm really high on Ja. His defense is still improving, his jump shot is improving, and with him already having the leadership, the finishing, the explosiveness, and if he can get a jump shot, the ceiling for Ja Morant is just so high. For Anthony Edwards, we just finished up his rookie season, so we have no idea what the next couple years will be, but he has that potential for sure. There's a reason why he was the #1 overall pick coming out of Georgia. He has so much talent as an explosive player. He put up like 42 points multiple times this season. And especially as the season went on, he adapted to the NBA. He got his points up, he got his efficiency up to at least a league average level. And Anthony Edwards has proven to us that he can be maybe one of the best scorers in the entire NBA. And I think that if he can improve his defense, if he can build this Wolves team to be a good team led just by him as potentially the #1 option, or maybe the sidekick to Karl-Anthony Towns, I think Anthony Edwards can break out as a superstar. Now, the league is just so talented. You have so many other young players who are getting better too, that may be better than both Ja and Ant-Man, but I think that the talent is there for sure for these both players, and I can't wait to see what happens in their career. And with that being said, that's going to be episode 20 of Hot Sauce Takes. Hopefully I can do this next week again. I'm still going to be a little bit busy, but be on the lookout for that next week. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on next time.